Alright, so I'm gonna speak up. Maybe y'all can hear me over the rain. It's raining like crazy tonight. But anyhow, I come home for a little break from taking care of my mom and dad. My brother come down and he's looking after them. So I came home to re-up my chicken feed, and I figured I'd work on my bike a little bit since I hadn't been able to really do anything. And so here I am. I pulled the front wheel off and the front fender and everything. I took and rebuilt this fork. I've got to do this one, but the socket that I bought to do the bottom of the fork here is not long. It's a 12 millimeter Allen. And most sets don't, the biggest they got in standard is 3/8, and the biggest they have in metric is 10 millimeter, and this is a 12. So I've got one coming, should be here tomorrow, to take this plug out the bottom of the slider or whatever, and then the top is a 19 millimeter. I've got a socket that'll work on that. It worked on the other side, but because this side's got a pinch bolt, it's just a touch too short to do this side. So like I said, I've got another socket coming for that. So I've rebuilt this side here. It's all chrome. So I'll do that on this one, and then we'll have that done. I went and had my tires mounted up on these chrome wheels. So I've got the rear wheel put back on, and I've got to finish the exhaust up. And I was going to take and I gotten just a little bit of rain the other day, so I was going to take and detail my bike out while I got the saddlebags off of it. I found when I had my other police bike and it was black and white, my water at my house is really hard. And if I'd wash my bike, if I didn't dry it off good, it would water spot real bad. So what I got to do, unless it was really, really dirty, was I would just take a bottle of distilled water and a microfiber and just spray it off and wipe it down. And so that's what I'm gonna do with it while I got it on the jack here, and just clean it up. I've got to put my rotors on my front wheel and finish getting it ready. But like I said, I can't put it on until I get that socket so I can rebuild this other fork. So I should get that done tomorrow evening, and then I can put the front fender and front wheel back on it and finish it up for now till I get a chance to paint it, because I'm definitely going to do a pearl blue and black two-tone. I've got, this is the tank I'm gonna put on it. So this tank right here that came on it, I put this CVO console on it that come off a 10 model bike. But I've got, this is I think this console I bought for a 19 model. It's still got the protective wrap on this, but it's got a emblem that goes in this hole here, and it's backlit, and the light that goes behind there is a light and a retainer that holds that piece in there. And that light and all is $145. So I bought a pigtail for like a 194 bulb, and I'm gonna make my own retainer out of a piece of PVC and a piece of aluminum, and then I'll mount my bulb in there behind it, and I won't have nothing in the retainer versus having, you know, $145 in one that would eventually burn out and had to buy another 145 if I wanted it lit up. So, but this has got the feel in the side, so you know, you think about it when you're gassing up. If you're gassing up with it on a kickstand and it's center fill, you're not going to fill it all the way up, but with this side fill on it, you get more chance of filling it all the way up. So anyhow, but I like the look of this style CVO console, and actually the 21, 22, and 23 Street Glide specials had this same kind of tank with a covered console and a side fill. The regular Street Glides didn't, but the specials did. I just think it's cool. So, and these came out in 2011 with the side fill on the CVO bikes. So, and then here's my fender. Like I said, I'm changing the front fender because this one's got the factory fender had this chrome trim on it, and I kind of like it without the trim because that's the way the Street Glides are. And if I took the trim off of it, there'd be holes in the fender, so well, it's just easier to get another fender. And so can't do any paint work right now because it's been raining, but we'll get both of these in an epoxy primer and a high build, and I'll do my rear fender too because it had a dent in it. I'm not most of the dent out, but there's still a little bit right here, so I'll epoxy it and put some high build on it and block it out and see if I need to put some filler in it. I might need just a tiny bit of filler. You can see it right there. But the center part of this fender is going to be black, and it's going to have a stripe around it that might, you know, so it's not all one color. So between the blue and the black and the silver stripe that's separating the two colors, if it's not exactly flat, it will cover some of it, I think. But I'm gonna try to make it as perfect as I can. But we'll see. But that's for another time. For now, it's gonna stay black, but well, like I said, we'll see. And I got some tank emblems that come off of my 11 model bike. I put a tank off of a 13 Street Glide special on it, and so I took the tank emblems off of it when I painted it and never put them on. And I might put them on this just while I'm running it black because I think it looks awful plain with no emblem on it. But I like the emblem that's on my cousin's bike. See, the one that I've got, it says Harley Davidson, and it's staggered, like Harley's up here and the Davidson's down here. And I like the way his is. And I was looking at one that was like this, but it was more cursive like, and or more stylized, let's put it like that. And instead of having that outline chrome and brushed in the middle, it was all chrome. But I was going to put decals on it with the Harley Davidson on it, but I had ordered some and they were way too big. They took up the whole tank, so I'm not going to use those. But I think I want to put emblems on it, but I don't know I kind of like the decal thing, because then I can clear over the decal, and when you go to wax it, you don't having to wax around the emblem. But we'll see how that works out. I put these, the factory ones were a matte finish. I put the painted ones on here. I was missing the one on the other side anyway, so when I got them, I got painted ones. So anyhow, that's kind of what I got going on. I'm real happy with it. I got about 2,000 miles on it now. Actually, 2129. So And that's just from riding back and forth to the hospital and then coming back from Georgia back home. Well, and one trip from here down there because the bike was delivered here at my cousin's shop. So it's got a round trip to Georgia plus all the trips back and forth to the hospital and everything. And it's about a 50-mile round trip from my parents' house to the hospital. So it's been a few trips. I mean, I've been down there for all told 6 weeks, but I think I was down there for over 2 weeks before I got the bike. But anyhow, so that's what I got going on. I'm going to get this thing cleaned up and get the bags back on it, and then probably call it a night and get back out here in the morning and see what I can get done with putting the rotors and all that on the wheel, and then see when that socket comes in and get that one fork rebuilt, get it on there, and then put the front wheel and fender on, and should be back down on the ground ready to go whenever rain quits, which hopefully, I don't think it's going to quit the next day or two. I think they're calling for rain for the next 2 or 3 days, which I don't like, but it makes it easier to tear the bike apart and work on it because it has been raining. But anyhow, that's all I got for you guys. Like I said, I'll post what I can, but I've been hanging out with Mom and Dad and trying to take care of them. So we'll see what happens, and I'll post as I got stuff. So y'all take care, and we'll see you next time.